welcome to this beautiful episode of my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel Chijoke. What I do is I take you around all the beautiful things that is happening in the automotive industry. And today I want to, you know, open your mind to how much technicians get paid in the automotive industry in Nigeria. And this is very important for me to talk about it because I have been in this industry long enough, to know and hear and make research about how much guys in the automotive industry get paid. And so in this video, I'll be talking very deeply about that. So if this is part of one thing that you like, do hit a like on this video and do well to subscribe, because you're going to be getting a lot much more, around valuable information around the automotive industry, if that is the industry that you are, and valuable information if you are simply an enthusiast. Because I talk about combustion engine heavy duties and cars, and I talk about electric vehicles heavy duties and cars also in this very channel. And so today, let's dive in. So, because a lot of parents love to take the quicker alternative if they cannot really send their kids to the higher institution or universities, they kind of send them to technical schools to further their career, help them learn skills, in technical schools, because in technical schools you could be taught automotive engineering, woodworking, electrician, including industrial electrician and automotive electrician. So, including plumbing. So parents kind of take this quick route to help their kids um, get this type of education. And I want to tell you, if you want to actually get this type of education, I have schools and recommendations where you can really apply and get started schooling and even getting some pay in this country. As you're schooling, you get some pay, and also your lunch can be taken care of. So that is to tell you that even our government is trying their possible best to make sure that we get certain types of education. If you cannot afford university, because the truth is, as the year and advancement and as civilization is increasing, people expertise in this trade of car repair, electrical repair, maintenance of the things we use in general. The Those people who are trained and who are experts in those fields, they decline in a lot in a lot of in a lot they decline, because a lot of people don't really want to do those jobs anymore, because they think it's stressful, they think it's dirty, they think they are not well paid. And so the rate at which people run to do those jobs or try to go to technical schools so that they can do those jobs is really, really dropping. And so today I want to kind of talk about this. And so, because of this reason I just mentioned, there has been change, in how people who are really involved in this type of jobs in companies are really compensated, because every now and then the federal government, advise government to work on people's salaries in these branches. And most of the good companies in this country, they cooperate, and even though it's not so huge as you would expect, but they kind of try to add some incentives to the salaries and try to create more values you know around making workers feel a little bit better than they were um, faring in the past. And so today, just to break your curiosity, how much automotive industry in Nigeria, I will tell you that there is no specific amount that every technician in Nigeria here, it's varies from companies to companies, and as well as your personal negotiation with the company you're working in Nigeria. There is a lot of things that are compared, before your salary in a company in Nigeria as an automotive technician is decided. One is your educational level, and second one is your previous experience, how much you've been earning from your previous experience, you know. And so the amount you're earning from your last job, you could get 10% addition to it or 20%. So other companies decide your salary through this level, while others decide your salary by your educational qualification. And so because a lot of people, who are in this trade didn't don't really have university degrees, right? And so they really start their salary really small, right? So as soon as you don't have a university degree, you don't really expect that these people are going to take you up to 100 and 200,000 naira. They don't, right? And so it is very, very different with a car technician and a heavy duty technician. And so I'll try my best to see how I can round off these two industries, because they are industries that have really hard experiences. So, like I said, there are different ways that different companies kind of rate your salary. Um, and so your negotiation in your salary, your negotiating power is very important, because they don't, most times these companies, they don't really have a fixed amount for each individual. So if they need you in that role, if it's important, they won't tell you though. But if truly they need you and you are able to negotiate your way to a good salary that you're comfortable with, they will give you. But if because they are really going to push you really hard, to be on their range where they put almost everybody. So it's kind of really, really, tight for you to, get, um, above 150, right? I've seen on sites, I try to check to find out information, you know, I see like 180, come up. Yeah, so many companies will start you on 180 or 170 thereabout, but it is it now depends heavily on the location where you're working, because working as an automotive technician, it has to be a lot about your salary has to do with locations. There are locations where the company is, you get a good or a high amount of pay to compare in naira, and there are places where you are, the location of the company is, you just get anything. And the reason why it's like that is because the location of the company, a high number of the employee is going to come from that vicinity, right, or that state where the company is. And you cannot compare someone who's in Lagos or someone who's in Port Harcourt or someone who's in Abuja, with somebody in some other rural states, right? Those citizens in those states, that will kind of make up a large margin of the company employees, you know, most of them don't really understand, what it takes to negotiate salaries, and so they just take whatever, that the company, approach them with. So if you, who is coming from a broad range of experience, you know, happens to get a job there, so you really have to do a lot of, convincing to really get your salaries to make sense. So they kind of try to stay on those other people's salaries. So there's so much, around this, negotiation. And despite the fact that the payments kind of, change over time, reviews are done over time, and small, incentives, kind of coming here and there, depending on the specific industry of automotive, um, repair that your company is really operating in, because you have the logistic, you have the service centers, you have companies who are really high users of vehicles, and they kind of like, have their own experts who repair cars and who repair vehicles, and so they kind of employ, maintenance people. And so the particular industry that you are, decide a lot around vehicle repair. So if I want to kind of like, put it on a cross line, how much you should expect to get as a starting level technician in Nigeria, I would say you should expect to get from 80K to 150K. And so the 150K most time is for high level technicians, that have, that have degrees, experience, and all that. And it starts to climb from there to 250, and well, if you're just starting out, just don't expect more than 180. So that is, don't expect more than 80, right? So it's really, really very, very tricky right there. And a lot of, experts also are earning around 80, depending on the state, just like I said. So basically, there is no specific amount that is designed for most technicians, in Nigeria, and that is why it's kind of difficult for a lot of people. And there is this generic, thing that, technicians in Nigeria has been facing, which is one thing that I personally would love to take away, because I don't know if it happens in other countries. But once you are someone who works on the vehicle, no matter the position, there is this name they use, the mechanic. And when people, general people, hear the name mechanic, they see you as dirty, they tag you as dirty, and nobody in this country, Nigeria, wants to be associated with that name. Like, it feels like a plague. And so it's kind of works so much even in the industry, right? As your salary is going to be decided, of course, it's decided mostly by people who don't have no expertise around the trade, but they are just in the trade. Probably they are in the accounts, or they are in the, employment, sections, and so they still, have a lot of that, you know, look on you, and treatment on you. They kind of try to treat you like, you're beauty. And so that is why I encourage, every person who's pursuing this career, who's under, my influence, to kind of like, you know seek for ways to kind of upgrade themselves and understand what is really, really happening, in the industry, so that you kind of appear differently anytime you are applying for a new role. And always look out for opportunities, because there are a huge opportunity um, in the industry, and you don't have to be stuck in one place. And so if that is the industry you are, so just know that there are a lot of ways that you can actually spread out your wings. And I hope this video is informative enough, but if not, if you have any questions or where you want me to touch or you want to ask me directly, I can answer you. So do it, reach out to me, and my comment section is always open. I do a lot of replies on my comment section. So do well to use it, and don't forget to subscribe. Catch you next time. I love, 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 love you. Bye bye.